Hi, I'm Joanne Loewy, and I'm the director of the Department of Music Therapy, the Louis Armstrong Center for Music and Medicine. I first came to Beth Israel Medical Center in 1994, and I came very early in the morning because I woke up and my leg was blue. At that time, I wasn't working at Beth Israel, so I came here first as a patient, and I was admitted and stayed here 3 months. After having a very successful outcome with my blue leg and great care from the doctors and nurses at Beth Israel, I was connected to Louis Armstrong's doctor. And the rest is history. We wrote a grant, and we have been here ever since, almost 20 years. I've had the chance in my lifetime to work at many different hospitals all over the world. The thing I love most about Continuum and about Beth Israel is every morning when I get in the elevator and I look around me, I can find people from all different countries, nationalities, a variety of ages, different sexual orientations, and I feel like I'm in a melting pot. And there's such consideration at Beth Israel Medical Center for race, for diversity, in every single person, from the janitor to the president of the hospital. You see people caring about people. And I find that as a patient. I've been a patient here 3 times, twice quite seriously, and I find that as an employee. There's not the usual leveling and hierarchy that you find in most other institutions. I enjoy working at Continuum because it fosters creativity. Obviously, I'm a music therapist, so I'm working improvisatorily every day with music in medicine. But I find between the research and the continuity of care from the different sites at Beth Israel, that there's a lot of room for growth, for thinking outside the box, for using all people, including the patient, in the care that we offer others. And the empathy here at this hospital is at a level that I've not experienced when I do grand rounds or visit other hospitals all over the world. Beth Israel is unique. And in fact, the people that come here, people that lecture here, doctors, nurses, therapists, social workers, say that there's something special about this hospital. Another thing that makes this hospital different is what we call in Judaism kavanah, and it's different than a good deed or a mitzvah. It's an energy of giving. There is a feeling when I'm on any of the campuses at Beth Israel that everybody wants to give to each other. Everybody's cool, and it energizes me every single day for the past 20 years. I've not seen it anywhere else. There are many patient stories that I've collected in my 20 years at Beth Israel. But since you're asking me what I like about Beth Israel, it always comes back to the beginning of my relationship with Beth Israel. It just so happened I was working at another clinic out in Queens, and my OBGYN doctor at that time and my vein doctor were both at Beth Israel. So when I woke up one morning and my leg was blue, I was taken by ambulance to Beth Israel, and the care I received from the vascular surgeon, who I still see in the hall, his name is Stephen Havison, the care I received from him stands out in my mind. So of all the patient stories, and I could sit here many days just talking about all the special patients, it's the care I received from Dr. Havison. Not only that he took me through 3 months where I was in a bed with a blue leg being looked at by residents, but after I had the birth of my son, who's now 22, where no other doctor, including my OBGYN's brother, who was a vascular surgeon, would take me through having another child. Dr. Stephen Havison said, I'll do it. And every day he helped me take my blood levels, and the care I received from him was outstanding. The fact that I have a 16-year-old daughter to boost from that care does not hurt anything. So another magical moment for me as faculty is when I walk by Dr. Havison and I see him lecturing residents or doing his thing in his quiet, humble way. I'm remembering how much I want to give back to patients because of what he gave me. Well, Louis Armstrong's publicist, who helped me grow the Louis Armstrong Center for Music and Medicine, had many things to say about healthcare, about diversity, and about Beth Israel. And Louis Armstrong loved Beth Israel. He loved this hospital. He died here. I have the last letter he wrote to his doctor, Gary Zucker. But one thing she said was, if you leave New York, you're going nowhere. There's something about the resources that we've been able to pull together, the community we've been able to create with, clerks singing and coming out into the atrium and hearing the music, kids walking by to pediatric appointments. Maybe they're scared to death of doctors, but when they hear that music on the way, or people come into the clinic to receive music therapy, it changes the way that their dis-ease is felt. And it feels preventative, it feels uplifting. Seeing Louis Armstrong's name, Victor Borge's name on the walls, we know that music is part of life. And in a hospital that focuses, like most hospitals, on disease, to come in and be sparked by the life of music is something that keeps me here. And I'm told by patients it keeps them here as well. So the idea that we are sparking life with music and looking at the body as a symphony of wellness, that we can generate and harbor wellness as part of our health care is what keeps me in Beth Israel. I expect to die here. I'm very proud to work at Beth Israel Medical Center. The research that we're able to do with doctors and nurses and social workers coming on board, the fact that music and music therapy is part of the life here. When people go into radiation oncology, they hear live music of their choice by a music therapist in the waiting room. Dr. Harrison, Dr. Chada, they turn patients over to the music therapists who can organize music during radiation, who can organize music with Dr. Sarah during chemotherapy. It's like we're holding their hand with something very precious and something that's enveloped by the city, music. It makes Beth Israel and Continuum a very special place.